In your face. In your face. One melon like you. In your face, in your face, in your face, in your face. In your face, Island vibes, we bring it through to light night. Turn up the sound, let the people unite. From the heart, the PF, we speaking it clear. Real talk, real change in your face, we are. In your face, we say it bold, no delay. Truth and vibes every Saturday. Voices rise, let the whole world hear. We bring the fire in your face, right here. In your face, 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 in your face. We talking life, we talking change, we talk solutions. From the street to leaders, sparking revolution. No filter, no fear, just real conversation. Building up the through, uplift the nation. Ideas flow like the ocean tide. Different views, but we stand with pride. From young to old, everybody got a say. Tune in, lean in, hear what we convey. Say your face, in your face. We say it bold, no delay. Truth and vibes every Saturday. Voices rise, let the whole world hear. We bring the fire in your face, right there. In your face, 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 in your face. It's in your face, feel the energy rise. Open up your mind, let's visualize. Better days coming, we paving the way. Join the movement every Saturday. It's in your face, yeah, we keep it true. From the heart of the island straight to you. No hiding, no running from the issues we face. We confront it head on, right in your face. Solutions build when we risen as one. Unity strong like the morning sun. Yes, up, talk it out, walk it out, make a plan. Together we rise, that's the mission we stand. In your face, we say it bold, no delay. Truth and vibes every Saturday. Voices rise, let the whole world hear. We bring the fire on. In your face, right there. In your face, 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 in your face. Pick up the herb, it's your word, all conversation, identity voices, real solutions, don't miss it, every rise Saturday.
Right. Nice, sir.
Good evening, wherever you are watching us. Welcome to another presentation of what we call the In Your Face program. Should I use the word controversial program? I was just kind of wondering. Just a bit of a humor there, but it's another Saturday in the city, as I often say and often express. Another hot day, must admit.
Oh, yeah.
But regardless of what, we are here, and we want to give thanks and praises and blessings that we are gathered here once again on this platform, this forum, for another informative discussion. Now, the program In Your Face is a program where we delve into issues, as I often stress, that might be affecting us as a people, as a nation. We offer up solutions. It's not just gossip, not chatter. It's a program where we discuss the pertinent issues that are affecting us as a people here in this country. And may I say, yes, we as a nation, we are now more divided than ever. And we need a coming together. Because at the end of the day, we all live on this beautiful island we call Anguilla. And I believe that we all want the best for this country. On this program, yes, we would hold the government of the day whoever accountable. That's the idea. We hold you accountable for things that we see and we don't like. On this forum, we bring it to light. We discuss it here. Okay? And this is a program that is well received by many. Yes, at times we might step on a few toes and bruise a few egos. But the idea of this program is for a better Anguilla. Because we are so divided, a house divided will never stand. You understand? A house divided can never, ever stand. Sad to say, everything nowadays seems to be politicized. You know, politics and everything. That almost seems as if it's the order of the day. But I would say, this program, we will make sure that we point out the issues that are affecting us as a people. Because what we need, indeed, if we are to succeed, we need more love, more understanding. You understand? There are times when you would mention something and then some people will be mad over what you say. But as I said, it's about accountability. And we intend to do just that. You understand? There are issues that are affecting us as a people and as a nation, as I alluded to earlier. And that is why we bring those things to light. We discuss them as they are. This evening, let me say good evening and welcome the voice of the voiceless, Mr. Harold Rowan. Harold, good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, Cello. Good evening, listeners, viewers to our program, our weekly program. It would seem to me, Cello, that you had a very good dinner this evening because that was a very broad appetizer that you delivered, of which is, to my mind, is very unusual. But I guess you have your reasons for doing so. And quite rightly, you're actually doing what your mind tell you to do. And I too concur with just about all the sentiments you express regarding the state of affairs here in our little island. Because I could tell you for one, even though it's a global disease with division among people, I could dare say as a small territory that we could even call a village under the circumstances compared to other nations. It really saddened me, and no doubt it saddens us, that people in essence develop controversies over certain things, but on the other hand, where there are critical issues in particular that negatively impact the lives of people, they cannot be bothered to get it started. And at this juncture, I wouldn't really go deep into the subject matter, but I believe as the program progresses, I will then deliberate accordingly. Because when you study about the double and triple standards that exist in this little country, in particular under this subsidiary, so-called subsidiary government, Anguilla United Front government. I think Anguilla deserves better than this. I'm sorry. That's my humble opinion. That's my feeling. That's my general sentiments. This country deserves better than this. I had never seen leadership that led on the people in this country, like in this go around, political go. And I was listening to a segment of the Solutions program on Radio Anguilla this morning, and the sentiments expressed by the guests and host there in general was again looking at the dilemma situation that exists in our beloved Anguilla. In essence, it's just the way in which we as a people conduct ourselves in relation to others. And as you rightly state, Cello, for small territory, we wish that, we will express and show more love and affection to our fellow men. And we all will be better off in this small environment. So I do hope that as we move forward with the program this evening, it will be seen as continue to be seen as a program of substance, a program of facts, a program of education, because I could dare see that as I go across this country, there are so many persons that ask questions that the government should be answering. As I tell them, you know, on some occasions I become moderately frustrated. And I say, what, wait a minute, they really didn't vote for me. Perhaps I might have been in a better position to understand what's going on if I was representing you politically. But however, I could tell you this, and then I go on and explain. Because realistically, if you're in a small environment like this, and you have to be second guessing of what's happening around you, I don't think it's a very good feeling at all. So, Mr. Cello, I will stay there for now, and I guess you would then call on the other individual to
Well, of course, thank you,
his
dear, for your
introductory remarks.
thank you, dear, so much for your introductory remarks. And we now go to Mr. Harrigan Vanier. Well, he's normally known as
The
the
cool one.
cool one.
That's right. Yeah. Well, good evening. Just want to read out a statement before I continue my regular program. Just want to state, take a moment to correct and withdraw a statement that I made last week in the program in your face concerning Briggy as the chairman of Angola Festival. During my discussion, I made a statement suggesting that Briggy was selling to himself and referring to it as nepotism. I want to make it clear that I withdraw that statement. I should not have presented something that as a fact without having all the information necessary at the time to support it. What I intended to raise was a broader question about transparency, potential of conflict of interest when persons hold leadership and positions may also conduct private businesses with the organizations that they oversee. So I apologize to Bergie and anyone who have been affected by my misled by are misled by my original statement. In your face, will continue to ask difficult questions, but we will also be responsible to correct our record when necessary. So thank you, and I'm happy to be here tonight. In your face is an enjoyable program by so many. I get tons of calls, making sure that we're not going off the air. Nobody's going to discourage us. Nobody's going to bully us off air. So just to clear the air that this show is continuing. We try to look for reasonable solutions to matters that affecting the country. We bring it to the light And there's going to be some debate. There's going to be some controversy. There's going to be some disagreements, and that's always good for democracy. So, welcome. Thanks to be here again. It's great to be here again tonight, and welcome to everybody, all the viewers and listeners to the show.
Thank you, dear Mr. Harrigan, for your introductory remarks. And of course, on this program, we exhibit what we call a high degree of professionalism. So, in your opening remarks, you displayed some of that.
Thank you.
Well, this evening, we are going to go straight into the program this evening. And this evening's, we're going to take a look at current affairs because there's been quite a lot happening in recent times that most of us are not privy to. Some you might have heard and might be privy to. But the man, the voice of the voiceless, he knows the ins, the goings, because he hears it from the length and breadth of this country. Every single day, people come to him because people are hurting. People are hurting. I do have a few who come to me as well, but Mr. Rawan is known as the man, the voice of the voiceless. So, Mr. Rawan, again, good evening to you. We now toss the microphone over to you. Fill us in, bring us up to speed indeed. What's been happening? What's been cooking? Talk to me.
Well, Salo, what I could say to start off is this. I happened to listen to the weekly program, I think that Mr. Keystone Grave had already on Willow. And I think it was the governor he had as his guest this week. Oh, I hope it's this week. And I was listening to the program in part. And the little I heard in that interview.
Sorry, correction. Was it the AG or governor?
I think
it was the AG.
It was the AG?
I think it was the AG, I'm not sure, but I think it was one of those, yeah.
Anyway, it one of them. But even if it was the governor, I want to bring up something with reference to the governor too, because I'm not particularly happy with her, with her governance standards. I'm not particularly happy, and as a matter of fact, a number of the people in District 2 are very unhappy.
Let me just interrupt. You said you listened to an interview, but you don't know who
was on the interview. But right. I got the impression.
Specifically, you don't know.
I got the impression.
Yeah, I'm thinking it was the AG, but he may be right.
Okay. Whether it was the AG or not,
governor,
it's something regarding the law.
But you may be right.
For some reason, from some reason or the other, the governor gonna get in the crossfire anyway, because I ain't afraid of none of them. The governor lives in Seafeathers. The governor lives on the top in a very critical area. Good for her. I don't think nobody jealous of her. But what I could see, this matter also implicates the political directorate. And they could say what they want. They're doing the service to the people of Anguilla. They're doing the service to the people of Anguilla. Why? Because the people of Anguilla depends a hell of a lot on the tourism product that we have here. And anything that adversely affects the coastline of this little island affects us all. We could agree on that, correct?
Yes.
100%.
Over a year ago, there was a situation in Seafeather Bay where a property was barred downhill from the residence of the governor, where we, the constituents, are very aggrieved of what's going on down there, because the owner of that house seems to be in violation of the building code of this country. It's a little island. The construction going on almost in the sea, almost in the sea. The minister, Coyle Hodge, Shelley, all of them were brought on site. I don't even think we could have found Corey Richardson Hodge. Perhaps they did.
Is this an expat who's building?
Well, the truth is, I don't want to sound discriminatory.
No, but expat is.
But it's there for everybody to see.
Oh, wow.
Right? But the point about it, why is it this double and triple standards in this country? The governor lives on the pinnacle, if I was to use that description in Seafeather Bay. Very focal point. They could see everything. And by the way, listeners, viewers, this is just a couple 100 meters away, if so far, though, from the governor. And this construction is going on, in my view, in violation of the island building code, because there is coastline, and coastline geographical is described as the zone between low tide and high tide. Well, you got low tide in the house, basically in the sea. So we have Seafeather Bay, which is a public beach, of course. And I doubt if the people of Anguilla could access the beach with what's going on there. I stand to be corrected if that isn't the case. But as far as I see, right, I haven't been inquisitive enough to go to the lands and survey and check out the maps and so on, the surveys to check out what is what. But it's a very concerning issue, because if it was the Attorney General that was on the program, they talk about coastal exploitation, illegal sand mining, etc., etc. But the thing is, right, when we see things like that happening, we know that this is negatively, again, once it's against the law. Two, we know that it will negatively impact the island's tourism product. And why don't you think that we have this negative impact, in particular on the southeast coastline, because of what is going on there? But these people who are in charge of the island, and you made the point, Selu, about the people in authority not rightfully doing what they ought to do. And because of not doing what they ought to do when they ought to do it, it negatively impacts all the island's people. So I hope that the governor's listening directly, because I'm feeling on that, right? And this situation in District 2, like, of course, like the Premier, Corey Richardson Hodge, will look into this matter after we have been barking and bellowing for months after months, over a year, about this very concerning exploitation of the people's resources of this country. My God, politicians, Do you all have a conscience? You all say that you was there putting people first. What happened? We, the people of District 2, are animals. By extension, the people of Anguilla, are we animals? Please, if you're in office, you are mandated to do service to we the people by representing us in a very formidable way. Please, we ask of you, we beg of you, we beseech of you, please do your job and you won't hear us. Because this program is about keeping charge. You may as well say it's like a civil opposition in a way, because we have to keep the government of the day accountable for their actions. I mean, there are so many things that are going wrong in this country in the space of about 16 months or thereabout. We would like to know and we can't know, because it would seem to me, by extension us, that when questions are being posed or even letters are written regarding critical concerns that need to be investigated also,
They're ignored.
they play down. But guess what? They don't know who they play with. Because I am saying to you that if you going to attack on one side and then cover up on the other side, you got a story you got to tell in the future. And it ain't going to be a nice one. It ain't going to be a nice one. No. I don't want to go and rehash that, in my estimation, something that should not have happened with regards to Mr. Harrigan's presentation last week. But that situation regarding Mr. Harrigan, right? You see how quick them jump up and want to toss him in a tar barrel and roll him down the hill. But the irony that is facing us is that there are so many critical issues that negatively impact the lives of people. And guess what? The people in question cannot be bothered whether they directly, an extension, their families and friends are hurted or not. And I find that that is very, very unfair on one hand, and also very unreasonable. Now, saying that with regards human resource, of which I count Brother Vanier as a member or human resource on this program, I was informed that he was served a legal document. Well, fine, right? And in his estimation, I want to say how proud I am of him that he fell underneath the saying, I'm not too big to apologize. And he apologized. No, we will not support trying to destroy anyone on this program. We are here, exactly what we say, to present the facts in your face, like it or not, right? In a very respectful manner. Now, you may say that Harold, he is saying in a very respectful manner, but that is relative. What you may think as being disrespectful may very well to other people respectful. So that is relative. Now, saying that, I just want to put the icing on the cake. And I want to introduce you all to British Parliament. When I got time, go and listen to British Parliament.
Oh yeah.
And you hear how MPs behave among themselves. You will believe that is big wrestling match in there,
Yep.
right? So when you are a public officer, you are obliged under the circumstances to get these type of tap ups from time to time. And them got this nonsense. I ain't gonna speak because MPs don't even understand the meaning of honorable. They don't understand. And I'm trying to
Gotcha.
educate them from time to time.
No.
Honorable is a prefix that is used for MPs in the House of Parliament. From the time you cross the threshold of that door, here's Harry, here's Dick, here's Cora, here's this and that. Talking nonsense when them come out with honorable. Honorable what? You're simply a little someone to the people of this country. And you behave like y'all are bosses. Huh? I was speaking to a cousin of mine today, and he and myself conclude, "Bah, you know what happened? I really got to use your terminology. As soon as you elect them, they conduct themselves as they pass a hard exam, and they pass that exam with honors.
Yep.
Because after that, I can't speak to them, you know.
That's the truth.
They even don't answer their phone. Okay, fine.
I don't know what's wrong.
You may not get a call, but I believe that within a reasonable time, that call could be returned.
Yeah.
I think that's a standard courtesy,
Yep.
right? But you know what really saddens me? Probably 2 years down the road from now, you wouldn't believe that the same individuals that want to get back in Parliament, they are so humble.
But
They're
you
so
know,
subdued.
that's why I feel elections should be every 3 years or 4 years. 5 years is too much because you should be able to put them back out. You know, because you're right, 100%. When they get elected, the phone doesn't work anymore. They ain't got time to talk to you like before.
You know,
100%.
you know, Vanier, I don't 100% agree with you. But
That's what I'm saying.
what I believe, you know, the government need time to get the programs
Yeah.
executed. That's the reason why I don't want holistically agree with you. But however, I do believe that you should be able to recall in peace. That's happening in Trinidad and about the representatives. You have not performed creditably before the constitutional period. A certain percentage of the constituency signs onto a petition, you get fired. I think that
Exactly.
if
Hey,
I will call on the next government, of which I believe will not be this. I mean, we don't know how long we can live. Will not be this administration for sure. But I will call on another administration to put in legislation to address such as usual. Excuse me. Because it's almost a crime, perhaps it is, that you will come in Parliament and you're a member of the executive by extension, and you stay there and waste the taxpayers' money collecting every month, and you ain't doing a darn thing. You ain't doing nothing. And you know, the rumors come in almost facts, of which I believe they're fact. There's a fella that them say it look like you gotta fight him to go work. You gotta fight that fella even to get production. And I hear that one of the ministers that have to ensure that he call meetings and all the rest of it, and they are getting very irritated with the general conduct of that minister of government. And I hope that the taxpayers will understand that they too are to ensure that their monies are spent and spent to get value from it. Because it's just like in the construction sector where you have someone is working for you, and that person probably say, I got to go away to the bathroom maybe about 4, 5, 6 times a day and stay for an extended period of time. To me, this is a general conduct of most of these elected officials that forms part of the executive.
Is
Because if
it,
you recognize that so much times when you ask, look at the press conference there just Monday gone. How much of them you see there? Must be half of the circus was there on Monday to the
Oh,
press
they
conference.
because they don't care. They don't care. They don't care to give us an update. They don't.
I
uh,
mean, listen,
let me,
if
let me
they
just
go away,
interject. Can I?
sorry?
Go ahead.
Hey,
Go
let
ahead.
me just interject. I am listening to you there, Harold. You were very emphatic where you mentioned that everything does change when a politician gets elected. After that, the same people who elected them, they turn their backs on them. Now, this happens in general. We see politicians in general doing this all the time. And then when the time comes for election, they are humble and they come back at your door and hoodwink you once again and say all the nice stuff that they think that you want to hear just to get them back elected again. Is it fair to say, Mr. Ruwan, that the electorate, we the people, are the government? Why is it the fact that we always feel intimidated by politicians? We are their government. We are their bosses. We
That's correct.
elected them. Come on,
They
man.
forget about that. You know.
But
Continue, Mr. Ruwan.
you finish?
Yes.
Now, the problem that we have there, Selu, is that we don't understand our fundamental rights. That's the problem. Even I could dare say that the public servants, they got masters, doctorates, all type of thing like that. They don't understand the fundamental rights. They don't understand. You think if I was a public servant, that I would be subjected to general orders? I'd have had a breakup long time. Why? Because they're in French, and once in organization in French and your constitutional rights, whatever the right there, don't hold water. Don't hold water. Right? You can imagine you talking about the abolition of slavery, right? You're talking about you're free. But you are not free to express yourself when it comes to your political choice as a public servant. How could you say you're free? You're being enslaved. And
Of
I think
course,
that's a fundamental right that every public servant should have, right? And if I were one, of which I will never dream to be one, never be one, it would not exist with me because it's not fair to the people. You re-enslave the people under general orders. Yes, I agree that there should be certain rules and regulations to be able to keep an organization in check and
of
the
course.
members of the organization in check.
Have
But I
to.
think there are some extremes in those so-called general orders that need to be revamped to try to give the public servants a certain amount of latitude when it comes to the fundamental rights, when it comes to the political choice that they are making and express themselves accordingly. I mean, how could you? How could a public servant feel? They have a passion for the supporting a particular political organization. And because of general orders, they got to zip them out.
Yeah,
I don't
because
think that's fair. I don't think
because
it's unreasonable. I don't think it's reasonable.
poli- politicians sometimes flex their muscles because as you said, would be enslaved because if you say anything, which we talk about democracy, we live in a democratic society. You say anything, you or your family will be victimized.
That's a
You
problem.
know,
Yeah.
victimized.
But
You know,
But you
and
see,
that is sad.
that's another problem that we got here, Cello, in this little island. If you, for example, say certain things regarding the political directorate, well within reason, well within reason, they figure they're going to find ways and means to tarnish your progress, right? They find ways and means to block you where they, because of mental authority, they say all sort of wicked things about you. And it's the same people who came by prior to the election, went down on their knees and beg you for your support.
yep,
And that's how nasty these politicians are.
that's how it works.
Nasty. And it's very unfortunate that in a small community, I will never stop saying that this is something that could cause a lot of unrest. I've been reading through WhatsApp messages week before last, and I came across a young comment from a young gentleman that seems to be having some sort of medical challenges overseas.
Mhm.
And the general language of that individual seems as if it's a lot of frustration, it's a lot of pain, it's a lot of suffering he's going through.
Hmm.
And it would seem to me that it came to a point in that young man's life where he is, seemed to me that he will resort to the extreme because he's fed up of the exploitation of government resources. Because what he said in essence is that the monies that I'm going to waste away in England
Hmm.
with the purchase of this house, that it should be invested in Anguilla,
And the people,
in particular with health services and the development of broader services, so that he could be facilitated like other patients instead of regularly flying overseas to
but
attain those services.
you know
Because
how he's 100% right. The that AI money belongs to the people. It's like if you had fine oil, it's the same thing. So why the government think it's okay for them to do what they want with it? I mean, who agreed to going to England? I mean, a few of the supporters, but have they come to the people and really make a case and say, hey, this is the reason why we got to go do it, business money in England, and let me hear what you think about it. Put a poll out there. Let people have a say about the money because the money belongs to the people. You prefer to spend $20 million in England buying a property that's going to take 15 years to really start to make a return. Well, not even 15 years because it's going to take a lot more than that to start making some sort of return. They could have used that money to enhance the people, fix their health care, that people could have a better health. People dying left and right and center, and the government just don't care. They rather spend the money somewhere else and rather to bring in proper doctors and proper medication to medical attention to the people in Angola. You know what I mean? They could have loaned the money to England and let people get better. A ease on the electrical bill. I mean, what are
but,
we doing?
but that what the government of Jamaica did subsequent to the last
Exactly.
hurricane, the passage of the last hurricane, they would like to call company 150 million US dollars.
So they lie to the people and tell them that people come first and you about the people. We about put you first and all that nonsense. It's just a lie because you don't care about the people. You got no water. You got electricity that is costing. My electrical bill here in Florida costs more than my house where I don't even live in. Just a light burn in the fridge and whatever. Less than what I spend in Angola. It's just a shame. How could people survive with that? The surcharge is twice the amount of the bill itself. How
But
could you
you see,
survive?
Vanier, why you must recognize with the general attitude of the leader of government business,
They do what they want.
with the first $8.7 million that The people, the taxpayers' money, no. That went into the electricity subsidies. That was the gross.
Right.
Paid for, I think, maybe April month or something like that. And the general attitude of the woman who she's saying, the government didn't get nothing out of that. Well, who's the government? The government's the
It's
people.
the people. It's the people.
What do you mean they get nothing over there? It's the people's cost. It's the people's money.
It's the people's money. They want to get themselves a raise before they help the people that are suffering.
That don't know. Well, what else you would? But anyway, Vanier, why we on that house business? The people at Anguilla are now asking questions about the procurement system.
Exactly.
Prior to the purchase of that building, a house or whatever it is. We don't even know up now what to buy specifically. Because remember, well, I just told you all about double and triple standards.
Right.
Them got two fellas home there now for over 14 months. Why? Because them say they toward the line of protocol with some government procurement system as it relates to gensets, of which perhaps Agnes would have been better off now. Because you know, if you had the tourist season that was vibrant now and they didn't shut down, Agnes would not have the capacity to supply the hotels. But that's another subject.
A disaster.
So that's a fact.
but
they asked major hotels to go on the genset. One hotel, two on the genset collapsed.
I mean, we finished.
I
heard on the press conference too last Monday. The minister was talking something about the new CEO may not consider the building that they just bought for some other purpose or some other use.
Could you please take a note of that? We can deal that a little more.
I gotta put my note down.
Yeah. But let's deal with this procurement system. We don't want to get abstract with this at all, because it seems as if that the government is violating the system. Seems as if they're violating the system, unless they could tell us that what we don't know. Because just how we come to teach, we are also here to learn, right?
Right.
So we want to know from the government of the day if they did the prerequisite to the purchase of this house. Now we're gonna have to deal with the board of Agnek with the come to the procurement system with that building in question as well. Right. But let's deal with the house first.
In London.
So I am of the view, strong view, that if the government of Anguilla, and let me tell you something, the parliamentary opposition, you all need to work harder too. I'm giving you no break. I need to get on the order paper some serious questions regarding the hooliganism that expressed by being dealt with by this administration.
But even the real estate, even the higher real estate person in England, they're supposed to even put down procurement.
No, but this is what I'm saying.
But that's a higher amount of money that is going to be paid.
It's a wide-ranging description. Yeah. The prerequisite to the purchase includes that. So, for that value, the value of that building, as they put forward, that seemed to be going into the $30 million, right? You're supposed to have at least 3 comparative evaluations.
Yeah. Public
independent evaluation on that building, so you could know whether you're getting value for money. Because with 2 evaluators could collude, but very likely the third one, it will be no collusion. So we need the parliamentary opposition calling on you all, please, when the time is right, get that on the other paper. Because these questions must be answered to the people at Anguilla, not to me, not to you, Vanier, not to you, Cello, but the people of Anguilla. How could they just take up the people in money because they think that they're in the office, they could do some right? Now you got to account to your people. You have to account your people.
That's why we
So
talk about accountability.
Hmm. And
that's
That's
what it
important.
they don't want you to question that at all. They don't want you to question accountability. But you're right. It's up to the opposition to really bring these hard core questions to the front.
but that's part of the
You know what I
job.
mean? That's what the House
Right.
Assembly is for. And we have
Mm.
to drive them things home because I can guarantee you, Harold, at the end of the day, the same house on this, what the name of the street was that I'm called in London,
Fleet
but
Street. Fleet
Fleet
Street.
Street, that same
Mm.
house in Fleet Street that day one will be the house that's purchased. Something crooked about this whole house in London. That
But not
same
only
house on
that,
Fleet Street will be the house that's purchased. Look, you can
I
see
I want
something
to
ain't
remind you all
right. Something
that
ain't right about that house in London.
based on my education, right? London is not what as much as it once did, you know.
No,
Why?
they're bankrupt right now. London is bankrupt. They can't even keep a
With the
premier for how
exit,
long?
with Brexit,
A minister.
one, two, with the situation whereby the Labour government has overtaxed the businesses. A lot of them gone into liquidation. As far as I'm concerned, right now, the British can't see them as an example for us, a good example for us.
No,
Because London Bridge is falling down. There's
it's
no
true.
question.
Yeah, that's true.
London Bridge is falling down. Listen, they can't find monies to up their military capability. The welfare system got them in rags, billions of dollars.
Yeah,
London Bridge Rowan has been falling down now for quite some time.
it is fell low for sure because they're bankrupt. They're out of money.
Listen,
They're out of
listen.
money.
It's not really to laugh about. We have to be serious about and committed about what we putting forward. Because, you know, the British in a bad situation doesn't make it good for us. Because take it or leave it, we still in a bilateral partnership with them. You know,
Yeah,
political,
yeah,
still in
yeah.
a bilateral
But
partnership.
yeah, but how I want to ask I want to say something, right? This person here make a good point here. Submit your questions to the opposition. So my question to opposition should be, right, is since Fleet Street was the talk about at day one, and the purchase comes out that they end up buying Fleet Street, some sort of questionnaire, some sort of investigation needs to be presented to people that they did actually look at other houses, that did had other proposals, and give a real valid reason why they bought this one and not the other ones that was proposed. Because she's the minister, the premier is saying is they don't want to disclose whatever is confidential. It's the people money. People should know where the money is spending and
Public
why
dealing.
we chose that house.
Public dealing.
Yeah, yeah.
But
You still don't
listen,
want to talk about it.
when you go to the bidding process with procurement, all the bids are open there before the contractors. So how now the same procurement system that this supposed to be go through is secret?
Yep, it is. Everything's secret.
Secrecy with public funds?
That
What
was
is
a good
this?
question there, Vanier.
Every day
That
you
question,
learn something new.
So we have
that
to know.
question, that question, Vanier, that you raised there just now. That was a comment coming from someone who's watching the program.
Well, the comment is Keisha program. It's on the thing says Keisha Brooks. Says submit your questions to the oppositions if you have questions. I mean, that should be the protocol. If the public has questions to be asked in the House Assembly, we should submit them to the opposition. And I think that's a great idea. I think it's a good idea.
Yes,
I think that
I like that. The reason
and I
why
think the opposition should make themselves
But we
available
already
to
submitted that
have
one.
these questions to be asked.
yeah, but the reason why I asked that, dear Vanier, because I thought that was that questioning. I almost wanted to give you some credit for that, but then again, that's why I asked you that, because that was a good question. I like that. Rowan, you're doing a wonderful job. You're bringing us up to speed, indeed, really. And there are things that I did not know and were not privy to. I like when you delve into the whole thing. And that's why tonight's program is music for the ears. We want to give you, and Vanya, I know you like to cut in with some little points, but let us give Rwan, you know, we could interject here and there when it arises, but because you don't want him to mix up.
Yeah.
his
The
stuff,
comments,
you know?
the comments from the public is posted on the page as well. So
Yeah,
I
yes,
just
I
Right.
see
bring it to
what
your
you are
attention. Yeah.
saying about the
All right.
recall of
Proceed.
parliamentarians
Proceed.
that failed miserable to perform.
I agree.
But let's go to procurement B now, Vanya.
Mhm.
Procurement B. In procurement B will be the purchase of, as you put it, the building in Stony Ground. And everybody knows the purchase of the building in Stony Ground. They expended about $7.3 million on that building based on information. Now, further information also indicated, as I said last week, but it's nothing wrong in repeating yourself because who didn't hear last week would hear this week. I was told, and I have no reason to disbelieve, that a recent evaluation was carried out on the same building or buildings in question in Stony Ground, the green and white, the Watkin Hodge building. And they found out that the value was half the amount, the current value is half the amount that was paid for the building. So
Can't tell you that.
7.2 was paid, so maybe 3.6 to 4 million came out in the valuation.
And that's on the high
No,
side.
I can't understand the reason why. You're gonna tell me all the members of the press there, and they can't ask the questions, hard questions as you would put it, Vanya and Selvo, to try to find out for the people of Anguilla. Because remember that the government of Anguilla controls 79% equity in this company, of which 40% is directly owned by the government of Anguilla. And when 40% is owned by the government of Anguilla, 40% is owned by all people of Anguilla directly.
And Harold, on that thought, since we own 40%, why can't the CEO or the chairman of the board of Anglet come to one of the press conferences? Can they be subpoenaed to come? I mean, they should. You don't think it'd be good if one of them show up there to answer the public questions, or even to the House Assembly?
Well,
Is that possible?
the thing is this, I get a feeling that the government of the day don't want the people to hear the truth. Because you see, there's something called professional ethics. There's something called professional ethics, right?
That's the problem.
And when an officer like a CEO comes to the microphone and he or she knows that this response is gonna be recorded and it could damage a professional career going forward if they don't tell the truth, they're gonna be obliged to tell the truth, right? We know who the politicians are, and we know that what they're capable of. You don't have to repeat that.
If you don't mind. In the U.S. system, the Senate's call the professional person to the House, to the Senate, and they question them publicly and they swear on the oath. Why is that? What can that be done in Angola? Can you subpoena this? Because it's a public company as well. Majority belongs to the people.
Listen, put it this way. A man could do anything he set his mind to do. But what is happening is that conveniently, it's not done.
And not make it unavailable.
Right? They don't want the truth to come out. So the man put a smooth talker to talk some sort of nonsense of which a lot of times they just condemn themselves based on the responses in question. So leave them go ahead. You see, fellas, pressure have to be exerted on these critical issues because at the end of the day, what's gonna happen is that it's gonna be a lot of losses that we have to be dealing with as a people. It's a very unfortunate situation because this is something that we could, we could avoid. Because the problem we have here is that there is too much politics in these misdealings. You will tell me, with the amount of irresponsible decisions that this ANDEC board made that negatively impact the lives of the people of Anguilla and also the shareholders, that the government of the day will put them back on a board. Let me tell you something. I could bet you, but I don't have, that if Osborne Brown Fleming was holding the position that Cora Richardson Hodge is currently holding, all of them would have been home today.
Fired.
Fired.
I agree.
Right? Because no malice against nobody. But the reality is, you all are routinely making irresponsible decisions. No. I learned that the interim CEO of the company have been given or granted an extension to November. So you must try to understand the protocol when it comes to companies. You ain't supposed to duplicate positions. You can't duplicate positions. So specifically, you can't have two CEOs, you can't have two CFOs. You got CFO. Well, in large companies, yes, but in this case, no. Right? Like, could I have CFO responsible for this and that and rest of it? But anyway, what I'm saying that under the circumstances where, if it is true to say, of which I believe it is, that this individual was granted an extension until November, very likely this means that the fellas them got home for 14 months already. We currently in August. We are August, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta add on September, October, November. So you may as well book the passage home for another 3 months. We'll put on 17 months. 17 months. These fellas home. And you think that this is a government that could say that they truly represent the interests of the people of this country?
Nope.
And as I said, your own people, your neighbors. And I want to remind the people again that you see Cora Jackson Hodge, that lady is in office and is breaching a lot of things that even she herself was part of and can't be bothered. The Labor Relations Act, for example, she was part of the tabling and the passage of the Labor Relations Act, that Section 114, that negatively impact the lives of these two gentlemen. She know the laws have been violated, and she endorsed the violation by her action, her body language. And anybody could have respect for this woman.
That's sad, though. You know, that's very sad.
I mean, you should stand up for what's right. The board violating the law of the land, and you supporting it. But you are culpable as well, Cora Richardson Hodge. You are culpable. You are supporting them. It just had a shareholders meeting in July. No onus was on you to remove them because they're breaking the law. And you, by your actions, like other members of the Executive Council who have sanctioned them there, also are breaking the law. And you all need to resign that position because you all are lawless. You are making laws and breaking laws. But why you make them? Because the laws only for who? The civilian people, of
Yeah.
which I don't count myself as part of the people in Anguilla. The law is supposed to be the law of the land. But a lot of times, I have seen selective things being done to the people of this country. But you know what? God is good. The time is coming when you see wicked people like Koolone Richardson Hard gonna be dealt with. Maybe are being dealt with right now, and we don't know.
Yeah, karma is this is what I call it. I want to ask you a question, Harold, because I'm kind of confused. Um, you know, with this the kind of the with the press conferences. Try to listen to them. You know, when they do have them, because it's figured it's not that important to have them what they feel like. I try to understand one thing they said is about the the this loan that is supposed that Anglet's supposed to have received from the bank and compliance and this nonsense. I mean, it sounds like everything's falling apart. Like they don't really have a clear picture of what's going on.
You see, Mr. Aragon, I've said already, I'll say again, to talk that you signing a loan arrangement with that institution, the Caribbean Development Bank, you have to have your house in order. And let me tell you
These are
something.
cross, eyes are dots.
There's absolutely no question about it. I am putting it to you, the people, that how Anglic is now in shambles with poor decisions that have been made. The Caribbean Development Bank will not look at them favorably. Who going to give away $23 million when you're running a company like a rum shop? Hmm? Who will loan $23 million?
Week.
US dollars. It won't happen.
I agree.
When you got a minister coming on the ear and trying to throw a farmer CEO under the bus for telling he that the same building out Stone Ground in question gonna be finished by December
To the
of
fifth.
2025. What he blaming the farmer CEO.
And he believe it too.
No, but listen, you know the seriousness of that matter, Vanier.
No,
The
not really.
seriousness of that matter is that the bank has recognized that the man is a blind mice. Most not serious. If you gonna come to me and you gonna come and give me a report that a building like that has so much extensive work to be done, a building like that under the government procurement system that takes a very long time to get things prerequisites done. It must have been in October last year you made that statement, somewhere around there, right? And you're gonna tell me that with all that broad scope and the prerequisites add on before that building will have finished in 2025? Something wrong with the man's judgment. He has no judgment. He's impaired. His judgment is being impaired by some sort of foreign elements. I don't know.
Strong, strong
Perhaps,
language there.
huh?
Strong language being used there, Mr. Rowan.
Yes, his vision is probably being impaired. I don't know. Because it's no way that you as an adult and someone who's supposed to be learned gonna be beguiled by a farmer CEO and you gonna jump on it. Well, okay, if you're making, first of all, you shouldn't have been even making them statements to the company. And you even know that. You ain't got authority to make the statements for the company. If I'm wrong from the board governance policy that clearly states that the chairman of the company is the only one authorized to speak on behalf of the board of directors.
Oh,
Be emphatic with that, dear Mr. Rowan. Be
All right.
very emphatic with that. Repeat that. Repeat that.
Well, you being a farmer director
Yes,
yourself, is fully
that's why
aware
I'm saying repeat that. Repeat
that
that.
the minister in question exceeded his authority.
right. Wow.
He made statements that he does not have authority under the processes and the documentation to make those statements. So the bank even see that, remember, this bank is not a Joe bank, you know. It have people who could go through all the protocols of the company and see what is violated from what is not. And with the company not having a proper management structure, well, how you gonna come to the bank
Ano-
for the
ano-
monies they expend? It's
Another
not
thing.
proper. It's improper.
Mhm.
This is a mega loan,
Right.
Mr.
One of the,
Allen.
one of the key factors to Howard, if you could elaborate more on the effect of this, when you have your major customers dropping off with a population of 12,000 people, households of maybe 6,000 households, when your key, the biggest account drop off, what do you think is the effect to the whole company itself, and what do you think is going to be the effect of when the bank looks at that you've now been will permanently lose one of your key your highest major customer.
Look at this point, Vanier. Good
Mm,
question. 1991, I know when Anglec was granted a 50-year license to generate and sell kilowatt hours to the people at Anguilla. Well, Vanya, you understand that only 15 years leaving on a monopoly? So 5 years gone already,
what?
right? 25 to 1 right around the corner. Heaven
Yeah,
knows much else we may live, but it's close enough. So that
opens
also
the
is
door.
a very critical factor that the bank is looking at. And to
Mhm.
your point, with the amount of renewables that is coming on the island, in particular with the major consumers coming off the grid, it presents quite a challenge
Yeah,
when it comes to the sustainability of Anglec as a company that could repay its borrowings.
yeah,
I firmly believe that the bank has already put economists on that program, the loan arrangement,
mhm.
and recognize that
It's not.
Anglican bus.
Yeah,
I firmly believe that
yeah,
those economists has already analyzed that, listen, this company ain't gonna survive to be
yeah.
able to repay
15
this
years.
money,
That's nothing.
right?
15 years. The loan is 20 years, right?
Yeah, the $23 million US. So, so you see, a lot of people, and you got to sympathize with the young fella. He's still sucking sweet. So he really ain't fully understand what the business world is all about. Well, you hear how much talk was made about the development about the AI development and things like that prior to the last general election. You hear anything more chatter about that?
Nope.
But that was campaign rhetoric, campaign chatter. You hear anything since that?
Nah, it's gone.
Hear that chatter gone? Huh?
Some in a hole.
Until a lip service.
Yeah.
Just a fool, beguile the people.
Yep.
You understand? So we have to be very watchful. We have to remind the people of Anguilla what was served to them, wrapped and served to them, and being tricked by these people because they are not living up to the standard of proper representation of the people. And this situation regarding the Anglic's ability to survive is very grim from as a layman. I mean, you can see
Yeah.
coming.
You're
Oh,
right.
you got,
You're right. 100%.
look at it.
Our population is small.
Look at it. Anglic now has 4 high-speed sets out. They are balling. Balling. Them now, maybe at the 9th, 11th hour, recognize that. Remember, I was saying over 3 years now, the generation department to the edge of the cliff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they realize you want to fall over now. So only now they wake up. And now it look like they want to bring 2 more high-speed sets.
I mean, they're far away from renewable.
Why would you at this
Are you
juncture?
serious? I don't believe it.
I mean, you could have ordered medium speed sets for 3-4 years ago if you wanted. As soon you come in as a new board, you're supposed to ask the first department you're supposed to assess is the generation department. Why? That's the heart of the company. The heart of the
Exactly,
company.
brother. Say
If
that
the
again.
heart goes, that's it.
That is
Huh?
the heart of
Hard goal.
that.
Yeah,
That
done.
is the
Yeah,
heart of the company.
she beat. But guess what?
The generation
We in
department,
trouble.
definitely,
And
Wow.
I hope that
definitely.
some miracle work out, that in the next 2 months or so, they scrabble something together to be able to facilitate the major hotels in particular. Because suppose that had happened, a branded 5-star resort with the 2 standby gym sets collapse with a hotel full of guests. You could imagine what will happen. It's not
See,
only the business would have suffered, no,
every
the entire
time.
island.
Yeah.
We'll have put our hand on our heads and ball. Why?
Infrastructure,
Because
man.
those gym sets are not designed to run for a prolonged period of time. Very likely they're going to overheat and they're going to shut down to protect themselves. The
That's what
sensors will shut them down.
yeah, that's what it created to
So
me.
this is a problem we got.
All right.
The time and energy, Salo, the time and energy this board has put into destroying this company, so to speak, if they had put those energies into bringing people together, they would have gotten the best possible results to be able to move this company forward. But guess what? They too sit a hard exam. And guess what? They pass with honors. So they don't have
Um,
to come to nobody. They just do a bunch of fraud and they believe that it's okay. The company will take care of that. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to warn you. The day is coming, gentlemen, when we as board members gonna be sued in our personal capacity for the bad decisions that we make on behalf of the company. You see how people getting so sensitized with litigation?
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
is coming. Because let me tell you something. Anglet as is cannot qualify for professional indemnity coverage by no sensible insurer. No insurer will take on the risk of ending. In particular, we have the board with this composition of jokers. They will never take on that risk. But let me stop there. Perhaps they will.
All right.
But
Yeah, Vanier,
of course,
I want you to, I believe that some of the viewers are
yeah.
making some comments, and I would like
Yeah.
their comments to be heard as well.
Yeah, I post up some. I mean, they're being
Read.
posted.
Read, Cello.
No, but I would like you to read them so that
Okay.
you
You could
know.
ask
Okay.
them. I can't read right good, so you could ask them to me too. The people
Yeah,
that
No,
read.
I think Vanier is in a better position to see them
Yeah.
than me.
Yeah, one person. Yeah, because I control it here. So one person definitely says we need to legislate to recall parliaments for fields miserable to performance. So
Yes, I saw that comment from
yeah, and so the people
Pablo
are the most
Augusta
effective
Julian
opposition in the
Richardson.
country to which we need to be stepping up and demanding answers on all subjects, which I agree too.
That's correct because
And we need
as
to
we said
we need to
before,
put
we
pressure on
say
the
again,
opposition.
thank you very much for your question, gentlemen, and
Mm,
please feel free to put forward because we are here to interact with you, the public,
That's
and we
exactly
don't
why
have
that's
answers to the
exactly why
question.
sorry there, Harold. That's
Uh-huh.
exactly why I asked Vanya to repeat because it's all inclusive,
right,
and
That's
right,
they
right.
are a part of the program.
right.
You see,
Correct.
and
I think too. I want to say that I think the opposition needs to make a forum, a platform where people could ask for these questions to be answered, and they could take it to the House Assembly. You know what I mean? Because people send me questions. People call me and ask things. I'm seeing things with you, Silo and Harold. You know, I think the opposition needs to take up the role that they're elected to be, is to have these questions to take to the House and really put pressure on the government, because there's a lot of nonsense that is just going on that is like a free for all. I mean, the promises that's
well,
made. You know,
that's why tonight, and in going forward, I want the voices to be heard here.
mhm. That's
Whatever
what we're here for.
comments that you see coming in there, Vanya,
Yeah.
always
It's a good one
report
here
it.
too. It's a good one here too. When it comes to good governance, then also the governor's office as well as the government are responsible to our people. Therefore, that the petition needs to be drafted to the
Being
governor.
drafted to the
Yeah,
governor
demanding
we need modern
we need a modern
legislation
legislation such as
such as
recalling
recalling
from
parliamentarians
office
from
for
office for
failing their
failing their
responsibility to
responsibilities
the
in the
country.
country.
Hmm. It's a good
Well,
point, and that
yeah,
is
but
something that needs to be on the table.
realistically, the drafting and implementation of legislation,
Hmm.
that's how MPs, members of parliament, that's
Hmm.
a
Recall,
parliamentary function. It falls under the remit of the elected officials. But
but
guess
then,
what?
but
There's certain things that they can prejudice.
right,
Now, when those laws are then put in place, it will be then the responsibility of the governor and others to
yeah,
carry out those things to ensure that they are taken care of that falls under their remit. But that function is the function of the elected officials that are put there by we the people. So, but as I said, that's how you see the farm administration, the APM. Is that the name?
yeah,
Angular
APM,
Progressive Movement.
yeah, APM,
That's how you see that they push the government of the day to deal with the revamp of the Legislation's Pension Act.
right.
Because believe it or not,
It would have been done.
it will never be done
Just talk about it.
if the farm administration didn't push them to it.
Yeah, and that
And
was
then they give you the
admirable.
impression that they had ambition to do it.
Yep, yep, yep.
Absolutely
That's brilliant,
incorrect.
brilliant by Hayden and Merrick. That really really push. But the thing about recalling a minister though, that has to be voted for in the House Assembly, and if you got majority, I mean, you still need to vote them off.
No, not necessarily, no, Vanier. It
How's it
is,
work? How's it work then?
remember that it's the constituency, for example,
Hmm.
that elects a constituency rep. So the onus would be on
Back to the people
a certain percentage
of the person. Oh, okay,
of the
gotcha.
constituency for
Oh, I got
those who are elected by the
so
constituency.
right. Emergency vote. Emergency vote.
That will be their role
Right, I got you.
to recall them.
That
Because
makes
that
sense
means
now.
they are
That
not
makes sense.
representing the people in a manner that is effective.
Right. I like that. That makes a lot of sense. I think
Yeah.
that should definitely be part, and I hope that part of the new constitution would include that.
Well,
Those who,
earlier, Vanya, if I might just interject here,
mhm,
you were talking about term limits. You
right,
were of the opinion that
5 years too long because of the
5 years is
recent
too
reason.
long. Let me finish. Let me finish, please. Thank you. You were talking about 5 years being too long,
Hmm.
and I was saying that, as far as I'm concerned, the term limit should be 2 years. One in office, and the next one in jail.
No, not too long.
So you like that? I like that. Oh, just said I
Can
before
can
though.
can 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 that be drafted in the Constitution? Can that be part of the whole process?
What? Well, you got some
Yeah,
good reason.
I also, Stella, thanks for the
Well,
humor.
yeah,
This
yeah,
Brooks was saying about rules are necessary.
yeah.
We concur with your sentiments, viewer, that rules are necessary, but rules that are meaningful.
Hmm.
I mean, you could have rules that is meaningless, So we are not really disputing that there shouldn't be rules, because that's the only way, as I indicated earlier,
Hmm.
that you could keep persons that are part of our organization in check,
Hmm.
because you have to know what can be done and what should not be done within reason.
Right. I got that question for you. In the press conference too, the premier have thought through around a lot. I mean, a lot. This idea of bringing to the people in in the new constitution is um, having absentee votes, meaning that people in England, people wherever you live, could vote from where you are. What do you think about that, Harold? I mean, in Solo, what do you guys think?
Well, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that because I don't know, and maybe I agree with it in a way. I'll tell you how I agree with it. No, because we got a lot of AI money, right? So I believe that a premier want to put in an army. And when you got the army gonna be fighting somewhere overseas against his adversaries. And when the army is in combat, they won't be able to leave their responsibilities. So wherever they are, they will be able to vote. You could agree with that, right, Shallow? Perhaps that's
Hmm.
the case.
If there's an army, yeah,
So I
but
put in the army.
right,
Because in my view, that's the reason why you have this absentee
vote
business that they have. I don't know, I may be wrong. I think it's more for
that.
you got
Well,
so much of soldiers all about the world and combat.
right.
It wouldn't be reasonable for them to come out of combat and
Okay.
vote.
Yeah, but Harold, hold your thought. That exactly is the reason why America has the absentee vote because for people like I fall into that category because I'm an emergency responder and I'm always traveling, so I'm not in my city to vote home. So I'm automatically allowed to vote, do absentee vote. That's the purpose of that. The military is
Mhm.
overseas or a different state. The same thing with them. You know what I mean? So that's the purpose of really having an absentee vote. But when you got people living in England, haven't come home for the last 10 years, 20 years, and they can stay up there and decide how Angola should be run, who should run Angola, how is that? How does that make any sense? I don't
All right.
understand.
I hear you, Vanya, but let some folks in the room who are viewing as well, let's get their opinion on that absentee whole thing, because
Right.
as I said,
Public.
I want them to be a part of this format, a part of this discussion here, because too often they put their comments in there, the program finishes, and you go back and
Come
you
up
look
later.
at it after. I want the voices to be heard. That is one of the things that I've often told you, Vanya, and told Rowan, that we want all inclusive.
Yes.
So
Interaction, yeah.
yeah,
As much inclusion
interaction.
as
Yeah,
possible.
right. So let's see what they feel about this whole absentee thing, really. Because normally you're hearing how we feel about it, or we are sharing our views, really, but we want a feedback from the people. And that's what we do here. We put people first.
That's correct.
It's like
Yes. We are
That, that
dealing
is that is
about
that is not a rhetoric cliche. That's not a rhetoric. We put people
yeah.
first.
But how you think that would work, those Solo and Harold?
well, the thing is that politicians really have a tendency to be selfish. Because selfish in the context that as they get elected, instead of they think about governing, they think about re-election. You see? And I am
Hmm.
of the opinion that this whole gesture, a proposed gesture, is just to see if one, to get them re-elected, and two, to help to try to expend less monies as possible with airfares that bring in voters from foreign. So they don't want to go through the stress of raising capital to bring in flying people from foreign.
So
So
they look for easy way out.
perhaps, I don't know, that may be the purpose of the London House
Yeah.
as an
I
embassy
heard that too.
for such an initiative. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
I heard
Your
that
guess is
too.
as good. Your guess is as good as mine.
It'd be a
You know.
lot of hope for voting. I tell you,
so,
boy. That would be
so,
detrimental of country, boy.
so where we stand now, it would seem to me, gentlemen, that the unit price on crude started to flare back up again, which means that this would negatively impact the lives of people and who has to be dependent on the oil producing countries
Hmm.
to survive, as far as energy is concerned. Vanya, how your unit cost looking up there in America?
I don't even know. I don't even look at a unit cost. My electrical bill is like 120, 140 a month, and I have washer, dryer, air conditioner running day and night, lights on. I don't understand it. My bill in Angola is almost it's $300.
Are you sure, Vanya, you don't turn back your meter?
I don't even know what a meter is. It's done through remotely, I think.
No,
Yeah,
exactly. I think that gentleman
yeah,
making reference to the absentee votes.
yeah. You want to read it? You want me to read it?
Is the absentee
Hold
votes
up.
cannot be applied in Anguilla since we are an a dependent
Dependent.
country
On
under
those
the
Spain.
species
This is of British.
of Britain.
Yeah, they're right. Well, that could be changed though. If they put in the constitution, that's what they plan on doing, isn't it? I don't think that I don't know if England has voting, but that's a good point there. That needs to be looked into. Let me look it up. Let me go to ChatGPT.
But
Let's
trust
check
me,
it out.
anything that legislators, once you are in the House of Parliament, once something is not unconstitutional, it can be legislated. Once
Right.
it's called within human rights, it could be legislated. I firmly believe that. I'm no counsel, I'm no lawyer, but I I get that impression.
Mm. Go ahead, guys. Keep talking. I'm just trying to research it here quickly.
All right, Harold, you could proceed, and because I know you got a lot of stuff there that you want to get off your chest. So say it with your chest.
Well, what I could tell you, viewers, is that it would seem to me that we are up for a struggle during the interim. The interim is a period where the
Well,
hotels are all closing down for a break of approximately 2 months. And if we look around the island, we will recognize that there is not much happening here. For example, looking very keenly at the activity that seems to be dwindling at the proposed marina adjacent to CJ, Cap Juluca. It seems as if that activity is getting lower and lower. And as we traverse across the country, we would recognize that the construction sector is also becoming on the sluggish side. So we do hope that going forward, that the government will try to put some capital projects online whereby the chronic economy would be able to rejuvenate itself. Because let me tell you something, Anguilla, as we know, is a small community. And we depend a hell of a lot on the tourism product. And when the hotels take a break, we, in most cases, feel the negative impact. Vanier, you want to read that?
yeah, this is my researcher just did. Yes, Angola could introduce absentee postal proxy or another form of overseas voting. They just got to change the Angola's own constitution and election act.
No,
So
talking about the viewer
no,
online now.
I posted what I saw. I put on I posted that myself.
No, there was someone
That's
who
my
said that.
research. Yeah, that's my research. I put so I posted it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, they can, yeah.
go
Mhm.
ahead. Sorry about that.
So what we have here is a situation where, I mean, our government need to really create economic activity because we cannot continue to rely on the old projects that the APM leave on the table for them to execute. And even that within itself, we are falling behind. So it's my consideration that the government of the day need to actively bring the people in. You see, that's how we're doing inclusion, encouraging inclusion of
Okay.
our viewers. I believe that the government need to format a situation whereby they have more participation of the Angolan people. And doing that, I believe that more ideas will come on. If you will listen to that statement made by the minister responsible for Maiku, I get the impression that he, in essence, recognized that that building is on the ground, that
Useless.
something different supposed to be done with it to make it more appropriate. Because he spoke about a change of vision with the change of the CEO, right? And that gives me the impression like this CEO now recognize, because I mean, sorry, right? But I just saying about economic activity, and this ties back in again, because it's just like a nightmare in our heads, you know. When you think about these things and how the island is being kept back, the island is being devalued, you know, by these institutions. So what the minister say is that, listen, it seems as if there's a change in vision, of which I don't agree with him, because when you're dealing with assets of a company, that falls within the remit of the board, under the remit of the board of directors. So I can't understand how the CEO has the authority to make them kind of decisions unless the board sends down a resolution. I can't understand. So, gentlemen, all I would say in Selo is that this country really need sensible people to run it. We really need sensible people because we got the resources, you know. We have the resources.
That's the problem. We got the resources.
It's no point that I a carpenter, have all sorts of fashion up-to-date tools, but I don't have the expertise to use the tools. I'm wasting the tools, I'm wasting the capital. So here we got the resources. There's absolutely no question about it. But we need to use them for the benefit of our people. And that brings me back now to the whole question of housing. Selo, you here in Anguilla, you probably don't move around as much as I do. In particular, where you lost
he got a car.
Vehicle in that accident, right?
So
wherever I turn in this country, there are people out there asking for available rentals. That houses to rent, right? Buildings to rent. Which tells me that that's a deficiency that the island has. So as I said in a previous program that we had, that why doesn't the government consider and probably execute a program? First of all, they have to make budgetary appropriations for those programs and put aside a certain amount of $1 million annually to be able to support affordable housing for the young people. The young people want to go on their own when they leave school and develop their lives. We all are aware that in other communities, Vanier, maybe like in America, as soon a child becomes 18, it's almost automatic. They leave the parent home, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right?
Yep.
And they develop themselves.
Yeah. Go to college, they have their own apartment, then from there they get a job, they have their own place, and then they look towards the farming their own house.
So here we got the resources now, whereby that we could get appropriations, budgeted appropriations, put it aside, and have a certain protocol, a certain way where applicants put in their applications, and based on whatever methodology that they develop, they qualify for an affordable housing, whereby they probably pay installments on a monthly basis.
Right.
And after a certain amount of years, they then become first-time homeowners.
And that could be done through development board. And that's more money than that than you could make it a house in England. Come on.
Yeah, but not only that. It's the people's money. That's the main point. It's the people's money you're refusing to spend on the people. You prefer to lavish it overseas. And I don't think that the taxpayers are absolutely happy with that.
You know, one thing that the premier campaign heavily on is diversifying Angola away, not away, but she did say away, but
She probably misspoke now.
yeah, she was misspoke, but she meant,
Yes.
I mean,
She your friend, so you cover up for her. Go
the
ahead.
tourists, the tourists. I try not to put my foot in my mouth.
Yes.
The tourist product, right? And you think that they would try to develop some sort of a different way of the economy could grow on, rather than just relying 100% on tourism, especially like fishing industry that we have that's been ignored. Um, you know, you, you, even in a medical, even in as medical tourism, sports tourism. We developing sports facilities, but instead the money is going to be spent in London to buy a house in London. Like, who the hell going to London to you know what I mean? Like, come on, how much Angolans actually go to in London itself for what reason? You know, I,
Vanya, earlier we were talking about it. A threat that we are facing when it comes to our tourism product, right?
yeah, we saw
We
it
don't
with
have
COVID.
we don't have no sand in Angola. We don't have no sand to mix our concrete
Wow.
again. So this is something the government should work on, whereby you encourage importers to bring in sand so you don't get exploits, right? Because it's a very serious matter. It might not directly impact us at our age,
Very well,
but
eventually.
believe you me, generations to come gonna suffer from this if we gonna continue to rely predominantly on the tourism product. That is a very critical facet of our tourism product. Sand in the sea. But it look like we may have sand and cliff if we don't be careful. No, it's not joke.
Yeah,
Listen, people don't understand the millions of years it takes to develop these things.
yeah, it does.
It's all
Once,
corals and things, broken corals and things like that. You know,
especially
and
if you go on,
abounded
if you go
by
on
the high tide and the low tide and so on.
if you're on Cookers Bay is not really a lot of sand. It's these little fine and beautiful rocks that came from the corals and stuff like that, and they're really pretty, but they're not. And it's not much sand. It's just rocks, and it shows you that the whole thing is deteriorating. You know what I mean? Eventually, the coral is going to be destroyed if we don't start to mitigate it. And as you said, the sand is going to disappear. And as some mountain keep on dredging and dredging, our sand going to be keep going over there to fill it back up. You know.
So that
Um,
comes to the
Jo-
point. We
this next
probably
person, hold on one second. This next person says, totally agree with the sense of policies such as only being covering the costs, constructing these homes and not the land. Um, constructing these homes and not the land.
Constructing.
Yeah, and not the land. I ain't quite understand what you mean by not the land. But the thing is that we are losing more land than anything else at a fast pace of an auctions. It's fast paced, and who's buying it? Expats, Indians, Chinese. You got the
and who you think causing that?
well, the
Who you
government don't
think
care about
causing
it for
that?
sure. They sure don't care because when you create a banking crisis and you got the receivership continue charging interest on a loan that is on collection, how you expect people to really manage that? When you're in collection, the interest supposed to stop. And if you could sell it at a fraction to
Va-
auction, why not make a deal with the person to see how they could pay? It's just sad
Vanya,
that we
we,
losing it.
we got to remind ourselves that the NCBA, National
Mhm.
Commercial Bank
Yeah,
of
I heard they
Angola.
just hire a next foreign CEO too.
Well, we could talk about the Jamaican CEO here. But what I'm saying, right? We
got the
must
qualify
still
visa.
understand that the bank is a government bank, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the receivership is like an extension to the government bank.
There
And the
you go.
government is someone that fitted to first know that these properties are up for auction, even before they go on the website. So the government should develop a portfolio for someone to deal with the bidding process on behalf of the government of Anguilla. You understand? So that
It,
when to
it,
be
it,
able to help to protect us by developing a land bank.
we
You
cannot
understand?
compete. We cannot compete against them Chinese and those expats who got the money. You can't. I mean, it's gonna
Well,
be, it's gonna be sad, a sad day. Trust what I tell you.
you can't compete them.
How you gonna compete? I mean, I'm saying, who got that kind of money sitting in a bank to buy property that's in distress? Who's making money in Angola? The
No,
expats and the
I
Chinese?
talking about the virgin land.
Oh, the virgin land. Oh, I got a quick question here
Virgin
from
land.
someone. Someone asking, saying they heard that the land east of ABC that Anglet owned is not no more. They don't own it no more. Is that so? I don't know. I just getting.
It's not what?
They don't have it anymore.
I
Probably.
ain't gonna have it anymore.
Yeah, I know how true that is.
Well, technically they don't have it. You know the reason why you don't have it?
What's that?
Because that lease that it went in 2002,
The government.
the purpose of that lease arrangement from government was exclusively to develop administrative building.
Which was makes sense.
But if you don't got administrative building, but that means that you
You don't need it no more.
have no need for the land.
Duplicate cost, duplicate
You
purpose.
see the difficulty that these fools put us in?
Somebody said it was sold. I don't know if that was government. I
No,
know
no,
it's
no,
some
no, no, no.
governments that could be sold.
That's not true.
I don't think it was sold.
That's strong property. You
Yeah,
can't.
that's what I'm saying.
No, that's not true.
The government,
That's
yeah,
not true.
couldn't sell it. Most Angolans have land while not having the cash to construct homes. Yeah, that's a problem too. You know, and the family may have land, but they don't have the money to build a house. And back in the day, we used to build. We build the foundation first. We build the walls. We build. You know, someone would come give me a hand to pour some concrete. You know, but not these days. No, there's no more hands given out. You know, you gotta go to the bank and to buy materials and to build from scratch, from foundation up. You know, that changes your whole dynamic. You know.
I want to take this time though to applaud those folks who are sending in their comments.
Yeah.
You
Keep
know,
the show
that is
interactive.
good.
Mhm.
That is bringing about real solutions.
Yes, of
The
course.
inclusion of having them. This platform is used to let their voices be heard. We're just hosts of the program, you know. We're just hosts of the program. So that's why going forward, we must always take time out to read their comments so that, you know, we can work together, because that's working in tandem, working in unison. That's what it's all about, really, you know. And some very good questions came out there
Yeah,
tonight.
very,
I
very
must
good
admit.
interaction. Mhm.
Yeah, I must admit, very good questions. Um, Mr. Juan, the voice of the
He's a
voiceless.
professor tonight. He's answering them very well too.
Yeah, because
So,
you know, those questions have meat, and he admired the fact that it's like it's an all inclusion, really.
Interactive. Mhm.
You know, so let us continue. We have a few more minutes before 10 o'clock. Of course, you know, at 10 o'clock is when we'll bring the curtains down on what has been thus far an informative,
Very much.
okay,
stimulating,
so with the
educating program.
concern of that viewer, if you would permit me, Cello, I have the face page of the lease arrangement between the Crown and the Anguilla Electricity Company. So it's registration section, North Central Block 48813B, parcel 64, consisting of 1.52 acres of land. We, the government of Anguilla, through he, the governor of Anguilla, House at Old Anguilla, hereby lease, sublease to the Anguilla Electricity Company Limited, PO Box 400, the Valley, Anguilla, the land comprised in the above mentioned title, that portion the land comprised in the above mentioned title, which is shown on the registry map as parcel 64, on the field map as number whatever, for a term of 99 years from the 6th day of June 2002 at the rent of the above ordinance, unless hereby navigated, modified, or add to. Here set forth in a variation to make reference to an attached document. So this is just a first page of it that was entered into for 99-year period from the 6th of June 2002. So actually, for the concern of those that viewer, the land was not sold. It's Crown property. It's still under the lease between the government and Anguilla through the governor's office for 99 years period. But that lease should be forfeited because the board make a muck and gone and purchase a building in Stone Ground for administration.
Which is a big mistake. Yeah, it's crazy.
So it's a colossal error. And you know, you could imagine, right? This is no rumor. This is a fact. Now, this lease property is 1.52 acres. And you know, the same minister, I don't know why he does be really thinking of doing. He said that this property is not suitable because it's Anglic has outgrown the size of this
1.5 acres.
property, 1.52 acres. But lo and behold, they gone to the ground and buy 1.25.
Yeah, that better.
So it seemed to me as a minister saying that 1.25 is bigger than 1.52. I can't understand it. I mean, absolute madness.
I tell you, I just
Madness.
wonder. People. I wonder people in Angola just vote for common sense or just vote for a popular person or somebody that looks smart.
A popular person, not popular
Because
person.
you know what I mean? I never see laziness, incompetent. I mean, I look at a few of them fellows there, and even their own supporters admit a lot of them there. They're very incompetent and lazy and doesn't know what to do. You know, they're making a mess. The whole medical center. I mean, Dr. Lorenzo fought hard to bring the medicals back onto the government because of the complications and the stupidness that the boards is done put in place where you can't even bring a specialist in and all kind of stuff was preventing the operations and got it back in government hand and it's like it's just useless. They just got it for mockery. Oh, we bringing a machine. What's the machine doing? You know, where's the specialist to operate the machine? Where's where's the care that you bring in rather than flying people out to Colombia and Trinidad, which is worse off than Anguilla? They got more beds, of course. You know, I mean, it's you know what I really realized that Angola got a serious problem when my friend, God rest his soul, Era was in the hospital. You know, I spoke to Era on the phone before I came to Anguilla for my mom's funeral. And Era said, "Yeah, I'm gonna see you soon because you're coming for your mother funeral." I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna be there." You know, man, walk in the hospital because the lack of, you know, um, intensive care and treatments and stuff like that. That don't have simple things. You know what I mean? When I got there, the man just barely could just recognize me and smile. Next day, passed away. That really hurt me because we got to do better than that. We could do better than that, but we're not prioritizing what's important. It's sad to know that people just walk in, go into the hospital, and just don't come back out. I can call a lot of names. I was in the hospital one time when I had a coworker of mine who was doing um voice Roy, and he got he had got in a car accident. His lungs was kind of punctured, and the man on the bed turning purple, no oxygen. I'm screaming, calling help. This guy needs some help. He's dying. Hospital, no oxygen. Simple shit. It's sad. You know, but let me not get into that because I get very emotional about that. Another comment here come in. There have been strategic changes in terms of Anglet's direction for the Caracas building dash Jose. I'm not
Well, I
sure.
heard one board member indicated that we don't know what to do with that. I think we just may as well get a pallet of plywood, a bundle of plywood,
Boil it up.
board it up and just leave it there and go out by ABC to build the building for true. You said
But
I'm right.
but
So in other words, he is implying that we are right with our commentaries
right.
because we have rationalized that the board has made a very irresponsible decision. And I will reiterate my position. The government of the day are also irresponsible
Very
for
responsible.
maintaining these people
Yep.
after these colossal errors.
And I also hear the same thing about the water department that things are not going good because incompetence of the minister itself that failed to failing to push the button that pipes lay still laying in the customs yard that not needs to be laid, putting new pipes to adding new pipes to old pipes, equipment and materials that needed not being ordered because lack of management failures. I mean, it's a disaster, complete disaster. And the best thing you could talk about is doing is buying a house in London, and that's gonna make people happy. And you can't fix water, you can't fix health, you can't fix electric. Uh, anyway, the transactions need to be investigated. Of course, it does. That's a comment there by.
Yeah, especially if that evaluation came in grossly under. So you're gonna
Wow.
be spending $7.3 million when evaluation will come in under 4 million. Boy, a red flag should
You
won't come in there. Something
you
is wrong.
you can remember the AUF did that too with Sun Reef building. They bought it for like seven point
But
five million
yeah.
dollars. It was worth less than $1 million. I tell you what, they got. I mean, I don't know, man, but it's just something about the AUF party that I can't support, man. I can't understand. They just make some bad decisions.
But
You
it's
know,
worse now, because
I know because on a
this
bunch of paper
listen,
shows,
this in the AUF, this is subsidiary of
subsidiary of.
the
All right, go
subsidiary
ahead.
of
Yeah, yeah, but
trouble.
it's sad, but
So Salo, we have crossed the line. The curtains are coming
Well, let
down.
me let me let me just say here. Um, well, you hear my dog there signaling that
I know.
you know. As a matter of fact, my dog even wants to make some opinions, but who let the dogs out? I really don't know.
Woo, woo.
But let me say here though, tonight's program was very informative as always. Because whenever we look at current affairs in the nation, that's when we alert the people with the issues, the pertinent issues that are out there that are affecting us as a people. I also want to say thanks to those who take time from their rather hectic schedule to tune in via the Facebook page. Because a number of people tell me that they watch every Saturday. So that is commendable. But feel free to let your voices be heard via your comments.
We like them comments.
Send your comments in because you are a part of this program. You live in this country, and whatever issues there are that are affecting us, they're affecting everybody. You understand? All of us. And that's why I call for the inclusion. Again, I certainly appreciate that. And we hope to get much more comments, really, because this show is for you. This is what it's all about. And you know, there's a saying, we are out to build a brand new Anguilla. But in recent times, we are much more divided, much more now than ever. And as I said last week, a house divided could never, ever stand. We must always remember that unity is strength. Indeed. So, again, gentlemen, Vanier, the voice of the voiceless, and our viewing audience, wherever you are, thank you all so much for being a part of this program. This is your show, right in your face. And it's
In your face.
holding
In your
accountability, and that's the aim and objective of this program. Thank you again so much for being there.
Thank
In
you,
your
guys.
face.
All right.
In your face. In your face. What may not like you. In your face, in your face, in your face, in your face. In your face, Island vibes, we bring it true to light night. Turn up the sound, let the people unite. From the heart of PF, we speaking it clear. Real talk, real change in your face, we in your face. We say it bold, no delay. Truth and vibes every Saturday. Voices rise, let the whole world hear. We bring the fire in your face, right here. In your face, 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 in your face. We talking life, we talking change, we talk solutions. From the street to leaders, sparking revolution. No filter, no fear, just real conversation. Building up the proof, uplift the nation. Ideas flow like the ocean tide.